your panel.
It was to
Okay.
What was his name?
It was to summarize. Okay, yeah.
Where's the paper with the question?
I'm struggling. What is this?
That says, does it?
Is it your writing?
Yeah. I didn't even know what I put.
What happened?
Yeah, right here, right here. Yeah, I just said I'm going to the.
Figure out like which panel,
Oh, I wanted to. Yeah,
page, or graphic novel your answers on.
which one?
And during those. Pretty simple, it's the same as the discussion questions I asked you guys, and
I had the
what do you think? But,
I had the answer.
okay? All right, you're back.
No, I gave him to you because you wanted to be your leader so bad.
So, and they didn't do
Hendrix, go ahead.
I
Okay,
gave you your paper.
we're ready to go.
Did she not have it on her table?
Cynthia, what's my expectation when a group presents?
To be paying attention and be quiet.
Yes, I love that. So close your devices.
And I fixed the paper.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, guys.
Our question was, Victor never specifically says how he feels about Justine's confession to the death. But how do you think he feels? I think we answered he feels guilty because it was his creature that he created, which led to the death. And in the text on page 41, it says he's going to Geneva immediately, which is stating that like he's going to find his creature and hope to do something about the death, all because of guilt. And then later on page 51, he said, I wanted to help other people, but now everything was ruined because I was full of guilt, and he needs to be alone, so he wants to do this by himself. And he knows, he's aware that most of this happened because of his idea to create. So that's how I think he feels guilty.
Okay.
And that's all evidence to that. Yeah.
Group have anything to add?
He also said, I had caused some terrible evils and I was very afraid that the monster would do something else. So he was like, he knows how powerful this creature he made, he knows how powerful it is. And he knows he can like really just kill anybody in his family or anybody that he really cares about. So he really like is guilty of, causing all of this. Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for them? Okay, one more question. It says, I know you said you feel like he feels guilty. Can you tell me just off the top of your head, like, what is your opinion? Is he guilty or is he not?
Yeah, no, he states it in the text. He says he's full of guilt, and he says it numerous times. So I believe he's truthfully guilty, and nothing other than that. Maybe afraid and mad at himself, but at most guilty. I think that's what
Okay.
he's doing there. I'm sure most people.
They're positive.
The other guys?
I agree with him, Con.
Yeah? Guilty, okay. Court, three judges say guilty. Great job, you guys, thank you. Give me your paper on your way back to your seats. Put it on my desk. Group two. You guys two? These guys are two. These guys are two, I'm sorry. All right, so scroll through, find your panel. Tell us when we're ready.
I was thinking my phone
Kelby, since you're the reporter, you tell us when your group's ready. Daniel, can you just get back to these guys? Okay.
Question is, why does Victor decide to leave? Why does he make this decision? Do you agree with his decision? Why not? What is the what does this decision say about Victor as a person? Victor left because he wanted to kill his creation in volume 2, chapter 1 and 2. Victor made his decision to kill the monster to avenge justice in William. Yes, we agree he should have killed the monster because he was dangerous and violent. This decision says that Victor was too scared of his own creation and he felt really bad about creating him, considering his own creation goodwill and justice.
Okay. So, do you mind reading the question for me again?
Yes. Victor decides to leave. What makes this? Why does this? Do you agree with this decision? Why or why not? What does this make the decision about Victor as a person?
Okay, so did you guys answer all that? Do you feel like? Good. All right. So tell me, show us what panels that you are finding your answers from.
So, Rachel, 55, 51.
So what's happening there? Is that one of them?
So,
This is William. Well, I'm gonna make them going to the place where he wanted to go kill his creature.
page 53. And this one was about how Victor decides, well, 53, right? So he goes up to the mountain. He's already went up to the mountain, and he finds a creature up there. And they really just talk about like what happened and stuff like that, and like people really went up there. Then go to page 55.
At page 55, he starts fighting his creature.
Yeah, so
And then they start getting along, like.
and I feel like in this right here, this was like a big one to me because I think like the creature doesn't want to like be scared, like he don't want to be scared of people, so he wants to more like make friends, be more kind to people. And the way they see him as that is like a big scary person. He was tall, something like that. But he kind of just make peace with his, his master, I guess. You see that? And so yeah.
That's great. So let's stick with where Kelby was. He's talking about, I just want to throw this out to the group. You guys did great, but just stay there for questions, okay? So tell me, once we got to this part, to your opinions of Victor and the creature, where do they stand at this part? Did it change at all?
Yeah.
Tell me why. Do you remember why?
I feel like the creature want to be kind to people. Like he tired of killing people. But if like they don't make a compact peace sign or something like that, he's gonna keep killing.
Yeah.
He's not gonna try
Any else have thoughts? Jonathan?
I think I'm pretty sure the creature told Victor that Victor was the only person that could make him happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he told him like completely his duty to the creature.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they call it long with each other after they fought for a bit.
Right, so what role do you think, because this does not encroach on their question, what role do we think that, like, what is Victor to the creature?
his master, his creator.
Okay. So, in your experience, like what role, who would that be? Yeah, I'm thinking more like a mom or dad. Like God is the ultimate creator. You're exactly right. But I'm thinking more like our parents. It's a parent's responsibility. So that's something to consider for our reading next. But group 2, you guys did great. You left us a great transition to group 3's question. So awesome. I need your paper if you can put it on my desk. Always.
No qualms.
Yeah, I haven't tripped yet today, so we have to get it out of the way. So, you got it here? So you're the reporter, so you tell us when you're ready.
Okay. So, we had to discuss like the different characteristics, like compare and contrast characteristics from, like, do you want me to read the question?
Would you please?
Oh,
It helps-
okay, yeah.
It helps everyone understand.
I was just, okay. So it says, consider Victor's behavior in chapter 2, compare and contrast with the creature's behavior. How would you describe them? Are they similar, are they different? So we just said that Victor, he knows what happiness is, and that he's quick to judge, and that the creature, he doesn't know what happiness is, and we said that he's misunderstood, and then we put that they're similar because they're both unhappy, sad, and mad. And then our next question was, who is the better Christian at the moment? And we had agreed by saying that the monster is the better creature, because even though he has killed someone, he just doesn't know what happiness is, and that he doesn't know that it's wrong, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So, anybody have anything to add?
Yeah, we said the monster was Christian because we thought he was more Christian because he doesn't know what's right and what's wrong, and he even said that when he had to like catch up on words and stuff, like he didn't know what things meant. So, yeah.
Right. So he's just learning. Excellent. Does anybody have anything to ask them? Anybody have anything to add? Thoughts on who's the better Christian at this point? No, okay. Great job. So we have a project we're going to move to, but I want to remind you that even though we're having a holiday, you still have reading. So, 5 and 6, we're going to get some more scoop on, has anybody read ahead and read 5 and 6 yet? No? Okay. We're going to get some more scoop on where the creature's been, what he's been doing. So group 3's question about who's a better Christian and why. Sounds really judgy, I know. But I want you to consider that. We could just say, who's a better person? But since we have a good yardstick for measuring that, talking about that, we're going to talk about our class discussion will center more on like who's a better Christian. So kind of think about that when you're reading and keep up on your vocab and reading ones, all right? Okay, so go back to your assigned seats if you don't mind while I pull up the instructions of what we're doing. I did it again, I still have the wrong one, but there we go. There we are. All right, guys. As always, take one, pass them on. Pass them on, do more than plenty. All right, we've done one-pagers before, right? You did, I think a 10 with me last year. This one is centered with Frankenstein, but just like anything else, the directions are the most important part. You'll have some time, but in order to do this well, you're gonna have to work on it at home. So, I'm gonna spend some time talking about the directions, so I know we understand what we're supposed to be doing, okay? All right. So, the directions are on the back. Let's start there. Okay, who can read the top part for me? Kelly.
Picture is a way to visually share key ideas and information from what you have learned. Read create a one-pager, we are trying to cultivate both visual symbols and important words and clearly and concisely share your most important takeaways with someone else.
Okay, so that's a little explanation of why we do these. It's not just Mrs. Hellman's having you color. This is a different way, instead of, like in our group report, talking about the novel. This is a different way to express some of the ideas, thoughts you have about the characters. You can use words, you can use pictures. It's important to remember that some of you are really great at drawing, and some of us aren't. And that's okay, that's why you can use both, right? Okay, let's move on to, here's what it must include. Who's gonna read that for me? Cynthia,
The whole thing?
you wanna read the first three?
Yeah. Do you want me to wait?
Do you mind?
I mean, no, I don't.
Mrs. Hellman's room. J. Don? Yes. Yes, he showed up late. No. Okay. Daniel, that alarm is for you to go get your temperature taken. Okay? If you don't come back, the slides and the instructions for this assignment are already in Google Classroom. Okay? Yes. Thank you. All right. Okay, Miss Cynthia, sorry about that. Top three.
Here's what it must include. A border which somehow represents the key themes from what you have read, an image in the upper left-hand corner with a quotation woven into or around this image should somehow represent that you consider to be the most important symbol in the text so far. Images and or doodled words in the upper right-hand corner that represent the key characteristics from the text and perhaps how they are changing.
Excellent. Who can read the last four? Jonathan?
Images and quotations in the lower left-hand corner that show the author's style of writing and the power of the language that is used. Images and or words in the bottom right-hand corner that show connections between the themes and ideas in the writing and what is going on in the world today. Three important quotations from the text. Words and or images that show the significance of the setting and someone.
That's a lot, right? Okay, so I broke it down. So if you have something to write with and you want to write yourself notes, but I'm going to leave this up while we're here. So the first one that Cynthia read, the border. That's this outside. Can you see them in the examples? All right. So in the border, you're going to think of themes from the story. The example I have written here is loneliness. But let's make sure we got it. So what's a theme? When we're talking about reading novels, what's a theme? What does it mean?
What it's covering, what it's about.
What it's about? Yeah? What else?
Like the feel of the book.
The feel of the book? Yeah, I think both those things are right. They would say, like, the definition of, like, this is what the author wants you to get without directly saying. So Mary Shelley doesn't say, this book is about loneliness and about the creature's loneliness. Or this book is about family. Or this book is about telling the truth. Right? Authors don't say that. It's kind of the hidden meaning that you're supposed to start to get. So outside, on the border, you're going to put themes. Right? So that's what the first one is. So next, the upper left. I'm going to do this backwards. Upper left. So this box, you have an image. So what do I mean by image?
Like a drawing.
Drawing, a picture, with a quotation woven around it. So maybe you have a picture of a flower with a quotation from our graphic novel, Boy, I Love Flowers. He didn't say anything about flowers, but it's an example. Got it? Does that make sense? All right, upper right. This one. So, Images, so we already have pictures and words, for the characters and how they change. You do not have to mention every character, but you need to put at least, I'll just say 1 or 2, because there's a lot of changing going on. You can center on 1 or do 2. You could do all of them, but it'd be kind of crowded in here, right? So the characters and how they change. So a mixture of pictures and words. Lower left. Yes. Sorry, guys. Lower left, again, images and words about style. Tell me one thing that's obvious about the style of this book, how we're reading it. Well, you tell me.
I think like it kind of gives like a more like story vibe. Is it just like kind of hard to
Spooky?
yeah.
Is this style? Is this it's in the horror genre?
Yep.
What's different about the way we're reading this book from other classes? It's a graphic novel. So you can talk about the writer's style. If we were, Jonathan, if we were reading the straight novel, you'd see a lot of different word choices that the author made. But here, the graphic novel is interpreted by the graphic novel illustrator, designer, writer, and so the choices that he made in style you can talk about, or you can talk about reading the book as a graphic novel. So, style. So that's lower left. All right, last one, lower right. Do some stuff to connect this to the real world, your world. So you can think about a theme and how it connects to you. Something you think about so far, maybe you know someone who's just like Victor, or maybe you saw a movie that's like Frankenstein. Something that's outside of the book that connects to you, anything, all right? Now the last 2 things, on the last 2 bullet points were 3 quotes. So somewhere in here you have to have 3 quotes. That top one, upper left, that's going to be at least one of your quotes, right? So you need a total of 3, somewhere on here. And something about the setting. So somewhere in here, mention the setting. Okay, so I put these aren't exactly like ours, right? These are just examples of one-pagers. Because if you just come and just have pencil written in like Frankenstein and picture maybe of a mountain, lightning bolt, something like that, that's not going to do it. It needs to have a mixture of pictures and words. I'm not grading your art. I'm going to leave that up to Ms. V and Mr. Evans, but so it doesn't have to be perfect, but it does have to be done. So you're demonstrating effort. You're demonstrating that you have read the graphic novel, that you're keeping up, and that you're thinking about it, and you can show how you're thinking in this way. Okay, does that make sense? Work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Who has questions about what I'm asking you to do?
No questions on mine.
Okay. How about when is this due?
Friday.
Next
The
Friday.
10th Friday.
Next.
No, next class,
So
which will be next week, because we have Pretend Friday is tomorrow, so we don't have school Friday, yes.
so they return on Friday, but like
No. You're gonna bring it to class next time you see me.
okay.
So that's your other challenge, don't lose it. All right. All right, if no one has questions, yes. That's a question, yeah. Go ahead. All right, so let's get to work. I'll pull down the drawing supplies.
Yeah. The decoration thing.
Hey, I'm sorry, one last thing I was gonna ask you to do. I apologize. I put due Friday because I forgot about Pretend Friday, so I'll fix that. So we know when it's due. Plan then do.
Madison.
If you just start drawing, not knowing what you're doing, kind of like writing a paper without planning, right?
Declaration of Independence.
So Joel, how do you plan best? Are you gonna plan your panels?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Angel, do you plan or do you just go?
Go.
All right, well,
Maverick.
when Jonathan gets back. All right, so, guys, plan then do. Here's paper, if you want to outline what you're gonna do before you do it, all right? Okay. You can move wherever, and use whatever supplies, and then you keep talking to amendments. We leave at 10:33. 10:33 or 10:30?
You let Josh know. I think it's 37.
It is 37.
You said 12, I think it's like 32.
Like
10:37.
a big long cloud base, and then like color it in black.
So guys, how much can we get done in 20 minutes?
Great.
Great.
Okay.
So just basically do little clouds all around.
Or are you trying to do like fog?
So did you just put yours away?
No, fog is kind of different.
You
It'd
want
be like more like, kind of like shady.
Here, smart.
Here,
You know how to do that a little too much.
like, give me a second.
You're harassing that poor child.
Nah, it's like.